Hi guys, Zach here with another Commander Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map Hamburger Hill. I'm starting in the middle left position playing as the Soviets. And immediately you can see I'm moving to the right, and this is one of the few maps where I will move my construction yard, and that's because there's a gem patch to the right, so I just need to get a bit closer to that so I can use that early on. Now this video was from quite a long time ago. I probably played this match around January or February. I don't know exactly, so unfortunately I can't get any of the replay footage for what goes on in the other parts of the map, because there was some action down in the south part, especially in the early stages of this match. And what I'm doing at the moment is I'm taking some infantry across that bridge and just sending them to the right side. I'm going to be using some infantry to defend against scouting, and I'm going to be using other infantry to scout themselves. It's important in the early stages to get as much visibility as you can, because then you can see what's happening at the other side of the map, and it also gives you a bit more warning if you're going to be attacked early on, especially if there's like something like an infantry rush or even a light tank rush as the other players are playing as the allies. So obviously I hope that's not going to happen in this match. And we managed to kill some green scouts there going onto my side of the map, and I almost managed to get some infantry through. I might be able to get them through this bottom part though. And yeah, you can see he's seen me, green, and he's also reacting with his infantry. And we can see blue now guarding his base against those green infantry, which is very good because we want him to not be able to see what we're doing. Now I did make a little bit of a mistake here. I should have built my ore silos straight after the ore refinery. Always do that if you're mining gems, because gems you just lose a bit of ore because you can't hold it all using one ore refinery. And I can see now a little bit of action going on in the bottom of the map. Noah's taking some tanks over, and I will be building tanks very soon. And my start was delayed a little bit because I obviously moved my MCV, but I do think it is worth it in the long run. And I'm getting that second war factory built, and then I'll be expanded to the left to another ore patch. And yeah, now I'm starting to get the first heavy tanks out, so I'm going to start taking them over to the other side of the map and getting that. And the important thing I do is, even though I'm taking a lot of doing a lot of stuff on the right side of the map, I still need to make sure I'm taking care of my base, keep on building things like ore refineries, keep on building up my economy. And there we can see we're getting some troops through, hopefully get a little bit more visibility. And well, yeah, we've got a bit of eyes on his base. We can see that ore truck there mining, but Gerben starting to build more infantry and taking out those infantry there and pushing me back a little bit there. And we have forced him to build some more infantry though, which is sort of like good because it means he's going to have less ore to spend on tanks. And now we're getting out that second ore refinery. And what I'm going to do is, I've noticed my because I built another ore truck on that gem patch, I am getting a lot of ore, and it's going to mean I'm going to be able to get that third war factory out really early on. And now Gerben coming with those medium tanks, and he's got a reasonable number, and at this point I don't want to go through that gap. I'm just holding my tanks to the other side of that bottleneck, because if you just try and that crate has just disappeared. And as soon as I get this third war factory out, this is going to be good because it's going to increase my tank building speed. And we're just taking out that purple infantry. And yeah, just making sure I'm keeping on building those tanks. And now we're going to try and push out with the other side. We've got a little bit of space. We've got that increased tank building speed. And now the fight ensues between the medium tanks and those heavy tanks. He's also got a few infantry, which I'll try and squash as I'm moving around. And now the fight is going on. We've got about medium even tank numbers, but these heavy tanks are a little bit stronger, and I do think at this stage I will have the faster building speed because I do have that gem patch quite close to my base. So we continue with this fight. We can see those medium tanks keeping on rolling in. We are a bit closer to Green's base at this point in time. We've taken out a few of those tanks, and he paused there a little bit, which allowed us to do a little bit more damage, and I'm pretty sure that would be while he was placing an ore refinery. And now we seem to have the tank advantage, and those medium tanks are now pulling back to just a little bit as a couple of reinforcements come together. And yeah, it's just we're going to try and push this early advantage. and my tank numbers starting to build up a little bit. And yeah, though we can see those tank numbers falling. We managed to get out, take out a couple. And yeah, we've managed to push him back a little bit. We're going back to his base, and now he's got a turret down. And those turrets do decent damage against tanks, because it's sort of like a stationary tank, which you can't move around. We managed to take that out, and those tank numbers are starting to fall for green, and we're starting to push back into the base now, onto that ore patch. And as I get onto that ore patch, what I'll start being able to do is start to be able to take out those ore trucks. But you can know I've got a bit of an ore situation myself at my base. You can see my ore is very low at the moment, and now we're starting to take out these ore trucks just to try and hamper green's economy, because this will make quite a big difference. We'll manage to get 2 out, but you can see those green tanks are starting to build back up. And what I think he'll obviously be on the other ore patch as well at this point in time. And now we're just trying to fight out this tank battle with green. And yeah, those green tanks are going down. But those tank numbers are starting to build up, and I'm starting to lose a few tanks at the moment. So I'm going to possibly have to pull back. What I'm going to try and do before I do that, though, is I'm going to try and take out this ore truck. You can see this ore truck now moving to this ore patch, and you can see that ore patch is quite decimated now towards green's base, and we're going past it. It's on low HP, and I've got one tank going for it there, and it's gone. And I think he's just going to get away with that ore truck. So unfortunately, we weren't able to take out that ore truck, and at this point in time, I'm going to need to retreat further back and rebuild my tank forces. And yeah, I did have a bit of pause in tank building there, but as you can see, I've still got very low ore. And this is where I see I've got an ore truck at the other side of the map. So I didn't have a clue what was going on here, because why would I have an ore truck on the right side of the map? And you can see that now going back to the base. So I'm just going to let it go for now, and I'm going to try it. As it gets back, I'm going to try and sort out whatever is going on there. You can see this is giving a chance for green to build up his tank numbers while I'm low on ore. And I've just had a gem load go in there, and you can see that's my ore truck there. And what was happening was, when that gem patch ran out, the closest other patch to that gem patch was actually on the right side of the map. However, because there's a big lake, what happens is your ore trucks have to go right round the outside of the lake to reach that gem patch. So that was why I was running out of ore and struggling a lot, because obviously I thought that the ore trucks would just start going to that ore patch to the left of my base, but no, they went to the other side of the map, which took a very, very long time. And that meant I got very low on ore for a period of time there. And now the fight with Gerben is starting again, and those medium tank numbers are looking pretty strong. And I think he's been able to recover from the 2 ore trucks lost. He'll have been able to replace them at this point in time, and now the fight begins again. And yeah, those heavy tank I'm just making sure I've got enough building speed there, and my teammate telling Blue to start using his tanks, because he has got a good number of medium tanks, and they would be very helpful at this point in time. And now we're trying to now we're continuing this fight, and you can see now Blue is starting to push through, and that's going to force green to go back up to the top of his base. Yeah, and we can see Blue going on. He's got a good number of tanks. And while green's distracted, I'm going to take out this ore truck, especially since it's collecting gems, because that will be worth like about, I don't know, gems are just worth about twice as much ore, so it'll be worth about 1.4k. And now we're being able to take that out. We can see Blue against green, but Blue's tanks are stationary, and I'm going to try and fight in, because Blue will lose, even though he's got quite a lot at this stage. And now we're managing to get green to focus on us, and we're going to have a fight here, but Blue will be doing a lot of damage to those green tanks passing through. And yeah, that's obviously turned it into their favour. We can see Purple now joining the fight with tanks. So Purple was a person starting in the bottom right, so they're fighting in the back against Blue, and now we're into green space, and we're going to be able to start destroying these buildings, taking out these war factories. You can see him selling that now, which is a good idea when you know it's going to get destroyed. And now we're destroying that other war factory, and I think that's all of green's war factories gone, and now we're just going to destroy the rest of the base. yeah, so that's that ore refinery. But we can see now purple coming in with a medium tank army, and I'm going to try and just destroy these ore refineries and everything else. I don't think green will have another construction yard, so I think that's gone. And now purple on a fight with blue. And I'm going to join the fight now because he's on that patch here. He's not moving his tanks around too much, so hopefully we're going to be able to take out these. You can see my heavy tanks though on very low HP, quite a few of them, and he has got a few rocket infantry there which do quite a bit of damage, so we'll try and squash them. And it looks like we're going to be able to clear up this mass of purple tanks, but that has really, you can see how many tanks I've lost here. But fortunately we've been able to clear them up. And now we see blue in green's base, and green's still building infantry, fighting right to the end. And yeah, blue's trying to yeah, blue having a hard time there. Now I'm just having a look at my base there, and as we can see, the ore patches are all gone. And now we've taken out green's green's ore refinery, and now we're going for his small power plants, and that goes down now, and Gerben is out of the game, so fighting right to the very end. I think this was around the time that Gerben was known for sometimes quitting matches early, so he did fight right to the end there. And I think it's because you'll be able to see his team's actually in a all-right position at this point in the match. What I notice here is that Nose is out of the game pretty much. He's got some buildings left, but he's got no ore trucks, and he's got no construction yard, so he's not going to be able to rebuild anything or build any tanks or anything like that. And now I'm moving these heavy tanks to the bottom and just pulling back and trying to build up my force, because what we can see is that purple has the biggest tank force at this point in the game, but we still got blue in this game as well. And I'm just having a look at his base. He's actually got 3 construction yards from what I can see. However, one of those could be fake, I don't know. Some players do build fake buildings, not usually though. And now we see that purple going up to the top of the map. That medium tank force is very, very strong and a lot bigger than my heavy tank force at this point in the game. And I think he's going up because what he's seen is that blue, it has that MCV up at the top. And what I'm doing here, I've built the new ore refinery, and I'm just redirecting some of my ore trucks to that ore refinery, just so they don't have to travel as far. Now, I don't redirect all my ore trucks, because if you've got ore refineries, if you get more than about 3 or 4 ore trucks at a single ore refinery, what tends to happen is they tend to get jammed, and then you have a big mass of ore trucks not being able to move. So that's just one thing to consider when you're redirecting your ore trucks. And now, because purple is up at the top fighting blue, I'm going to go for his ore trucks in this middle of the map. So we managed to take out one here, and we're going for another one here. But we can see that purple is coming back down the map. He's noticed what I'm doing to his base, and now I'm going to need to pull back into my side of the map. And we can see his teammates say that he's building artillery and that he doesn't have much left, but from what I see, that tank mass is pretty big. I don't see any artillery quite at this moment. So we'll find out later, hopefully. But now I'll go for that ore truck. I'm going to pull back to the other side of that gap, because that medium tank mass at the moment is bigger than mine, but my heavy tank mass, but I am starting to be able to build up over time, and I'm getting better tank numbers. We're going to have to see, is purple going to go on the attack? He does, and I'm staying at the other side of the gap, so I get a better trade in terms of tank numbers, because you can see those tanks coming over to the other side, and as soon as they come to the other side, they're going to get annihilated. So yeah, I'm in a good position at the moment, and he's losing a lot of tank numbers. You can see a bit with the tracking as well, as he tries to pull tank numbers over. Some of those tanks start going wandering down to the bottom, and this is going very well for me. I'm just going to try and squash those rocket men, because they do quite a lot of damage themselves, and tank turrets aren't very good when they fire on them, but as soon as you squash them, they instantly fall. And now it looks like we're going to have a free reign, and we're going to wreak some havoc on that ore patch with his ore trucks. And I just continue to expand my base down to the bottom to use that other ore patch. And now we're just going to take out those ore trucks and completely annihilate purple's economy, and then it should be quite easy going from there. So that's like 2 ore trucks down already, and now we're going for that 3rd ore truck, and that will be going down as well, and a 4th one coming in as well. And I think Purple's economy is going to be almost well and truly annihilated. You can see one ore truck getting away there. I think that was mining the gems in the middle of the map. Now, Purple hasn't expanded his base, and he has been indeed building artillery. So there's artillery coming forwards, and one thing about artillery is they have very low HP, and they just get taken out straight away. And you'll very, very rarely see artillery used ever. You'll never see them used in like quick match games when you've got competitive players because they're just not effective. The only thing artillery can be effective against is infantry, and I think I have seen players use artillery before when other players have been using Tesla troops when aftermath units have been switched on. But apart from that, I can't. Yeah, they never. When you have competitive players, they are never used because they're just not worth the price. And they just fall apart pretty easily. And now we're going to be able to take away Purple's base. And you can see those troops scattered around. Now I will tell you actually the name, you might have seen at the start, the name of the Purple player is actually Henfer. And this, as I said earlier, this match was from a long, long time ago. And this was what Henfer played like. Like, I mean, you all start new at some point. And now, for those of you who play Red Alert and play in a lot of these maps, I think Henfer's a very well-known player, and people know him as being a good player. So yeah, that just shows how Henfer played in his early days. As I say, this was like January or February, so he doesn't play like that anymore. But yeah, we all start new at some point. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.